Good morning, everyone. I am Rev Wendy Silvers, and you have arrived at the Awakened Mother Show, a weekly podcast and webcast that is devoted and dedicated to bringing you information that will inform, inspire, and allow you to access your critical mind. I am not dispensing medical advice, and I encourage you to, as always, do your own research. And I am so happy that you are here with us. And I invite you to tell your friends to come, to comment, to subscribe, and to stay tuned. We are really here to bring you all of the latest and greatest information and inspiration and spiritual awareness so that you can thrive, permission to be yourself, permission to embody your power, your influence. And when you do, you will create a powerful legacy for your kids, for your family, for yourself, and you will stand as a beneficial presence in this world. Today, I bring you just a little bit of a dialogue that I've been having regarding motherhood and activism. So, in my mind and my understanding, I believe that motherhood and activism are just so uniquely and integrally involved. There's not a separation, right? You know that before you have the baby, you probably do all this research about foods, what to put in your body, what to receive, what kind of birth you would like to have. You probably will investigate, do I want a doula? Do I want a postpartum doula? Do I want midwives? Do I want to be in a birthing center? Do I want to have a cesarean? Do I want to have an epidural? You're going to really engage in this very well thought out exploration of what is right for you as you are, as you are pregnant. If you are trying to get pregnant, you're going to research everything you can to make sure your body is in fit condition, your body, your mind, your spirit are in fit condition to become pregnant. And then you do all the research while you are pregnant. And then you have the baby and you get to look at, how do I want to raise this child? So I know for me, I had my daughter later in life, and it's not that late anymore, but I was 41, and I wanted to have my daughter birth her in water because I had done a lot of research about the women giving birth in the Black Sea and about natural birth and about the impact of birth on the baby while developing. So there were things that I know for me that were very, very important. One was that I did not have a lot of ultrasounds. The other is that I did not put any chemicals or toxins into my body because they directly went into the fetus. They went into the developing brain and organs of the fetus. So I wanted to do everything I could as a mom to make sure that my baby was going to be born as healthy as it possibly could be. And I had a little bit of reluctance about doing the testing, but as a supposedly geriatric mom, I needed to do that. So I did that, but I took really excellent care. And I also started to begin to think about what I would allow my child to receive after they were born. And so I only gave my child homeopathic medications. Once she had some antibiotics, I was very, very clear about doing the research to see what the long-term impacts would be, and even some of the short-term impacts of anything I would give her. I breastfed her till she was 3. We did the family bed. I carried her in a sling. I did all of the things that were really the ancient wisdom, really what women in villages have done for years and years. So I also got involved in a mommy support group because it saved my booty. I really needed to be with other moms that were growing along with me, that were breastfeeding, that were doing the family bed, that were or co-sleeping, that were carrying their kids in slings. I needed to be around other moms where I could just say, oh my God, I'm so tired, or my vajayjay hurts, or something where I was able to not have to continue that oh, I got this motherhood thing, because it is an adjustment. And so I'm not sure where you are in the motherhood evolution of being a mom. The other thing that I know is I was already in school for to become a spiritual therapist, and I was in the prerequisite classes and went into the professional aspect when my daughter was born. So I was in this inquiry. It's very fertile time when you're pregnant. And I was really in this inquiry about, what do I want to do? How do I want to be of service with the gifts and the trainings and the skills that I have? And I initially thought, because I had such a powerful experience with my midwives, I initially thought, oh, I want to be a midwife. And then I was like, after having a baby and doing the on request nursing, I was like, oh my God, I can't handle this sleep deprivation. For me, the sleep deprivation impacted my personality. I was so depleted. I didn't have the resources to access, as you've seen me do, my higher reasoning aspect of my brain many times, because I was just really in eat, sleep, breastfeed, serve, that was my MO. And so I decided, after thinking I wanted to be a midwife of babies, I became a midwife of consciousness. And I know that it was really important for me to go through that journey of what would I like to do, and to settle, to arrive at that place of being that midwife of consciousness. For I know, for me, pausing, breathing, meditating, minding my mind is imperative, because my mind can be like a racehorse, and it just takes off. And I'm like, and I have to come back. I'm a New Yorker. I lived in Manhattan for 23 years. I was in the entertainment industry as a account executive on films and music projects and celebrities / personalities. I spoke quickly, I moved quickly, I had to get things happening, make things happen. And so for me to learn how to slow my roll was really therapeutic, because I had lived so much of my life above my neck. Even though I danced, I studied dance and I took dance classes, so I was in my body to an extent. I really was disconnected from my body. So becoming a mom was a rebirth for me. And it really led me to, as I began our time together, it really led me to exploring, what do I want to do? How do I want to be? How do I want to raise my child? We all have dreams for our kids. The dreams just, it's like they dance around in our dream time. And when we look at our children, mostly, unless you have postpartum depression or some other extenuating circumstance, mostly we look at our kids and we are filled with this extraordinary, unceasing fountain of love that just keeps going and going and growing and growing. And so it's that opportunity to really decide, do you want to reclaim the places within you that were left, let's say, neglected? Do you want to remother yourself? Do you want to change the legacy in your family? And as you do, know that you are healing your ancestral line 7 generations in front and 7 generations behind, as well as in the present. So to me, that is a form of activism. It is a form of love activism, where you are taking time to, with your child in hand, let them know you're growing with them, and do the inner work. Where are the unmet needs that have just festered inside of you, that manifest in certain behaviors and patterns and thoughts that have you being in a way that you're not comfortable? I know for me, I really came out of my childhood with certain distorted perceptions and coping mechanisms, strategies that ultimately weren't serving me. And I knew that they weren't serving me. I could feel that they weren't serving me, and I saw them not serving me. So before I became a mother, and then especially when I became a mother, the invitation before me was, what will you do now? How will you be? And I chose to do a very deep inner process to maintain a spiritual practice of meditation, contemplation, prayer, sacred service, fellowship, connection, community, visioning, because those pillars for me reflect a whole life. They reflect the opportunity to embody my influence, my divine nature, to recognize my worth and my value. Because when I came out of my childhood, I didn't believe that I had worth and value. You wouldn't have known that. You might have, but it didn't show. But I knew what was on the inside of me. I knew how I felt on the inside. So becoming a mother awakened within me the opportunity to really change the legacy, to change the patterns. So when I say motherhood and activism are connected, this is why I say that, because it's like walking a tightrope. It requires balance, focus, and so much courage, which I learned is of the heart, courage, the whole heart. Cœur, C-O-U-E-R, means heart in French. Courage, the whole heart. And being a mother and an activist is like having two full-time jobs, but with the added benefit of knowing you're making a meaningful difference in the world. And that's why you are called to research baby foods, to research what kind of birth you have, to research what kind of doctor you want to be with, to research vaccines, to research whether you're going to circumcise your son or you're not, to research the schools that your child goes to research curriculums. That is activism. I just want to let you know that. For those that are watching this going, I don't have time for this. You're already doing it. It's part of your nature as a mom. And motherhood is the ultimate act of creation, and activism is the ultimate act of transformation. And together they have the power to change the world, beginning right where you are, beginning with yourself, with your kids, with your family. That's why you are the spiritual heart of your family, of your home, of the community, of the world. And being a mother and an activist is like having a superpower. You're able to nurture, inspire, and lead all at once. And I have some notes from which I wrote, so I'm reading them if you see me looking down. And I want to let you know that motherhood and activism are like a dance. They require you to move with grace, strength, and determination to create a better world for yourself and your kids. And it's like it's like a river that meets at the heart. So I invite you today to congratulate yourself for being willing to create a new world in your world first, inside of your work, the cosmology of your being really mindful of what you're thinking. Are you allowing your mind to be like a racehorse and race ahead of you? Are you taking back your mind? Are you minding your mind, your thoughts, having dominion over them? Are you, and do you have a practice? Do you get still and just allow the thoughts, all of the cascading thoughts, to just fall away? Do you breathe? Do you do breath work? Do you get into your body? Do you find time to love yourself and pleasure yourself and just allow yourself to really honor that you're here as a divine human, a spiritual being having a human life experience. Congratulate yourself for doing all the research and standing for your kids and not allowing anything or anyone to come between you and your children. You are the last wall of protection between your children and any outside source. So congratulate yourself for having the courage and the strength and the determination to stand for your children, to stand for a world where love and peace and freedom and agency and bodily autonomy are the pillars. Compassion, grace, justice, just us, right? Congratulate yourself for surrounding yourself with people you trust, people you love, people you can lean into, being willing to ask for help. And remember that you are not alone and that it's okay to ask for help. It means that you're willing to receive. And I'm going to close with the willingness to receive. There can sometimes be an unconscious unwillingness and resistance to receive good, to receive love, to receive yourself. And you know that you're on your path when you are willing to allow someone to help you, when you're willing to say, I don't know how to do this. Do you know how to do this? Or what do you think about this? Or this is how I feel. Can you tell me? What are you experiencing? What do you see when I'm XYZ? So I invite you to remember 3 very pertinent things. 1, you are powerful beyond measure. 2, you are loved beyond description. You don't have to do anything to be loved by this infinite presence. And this is the same thing for your children. When you give your children the gift of acceptance and appreciation and love, they learn to value themselves. They will never hurt another sentient being when they're accepted at the very depth of their being. And it's never too late. You can start over at any time with yourself, with your inner child, with your children. And 3, you are a powerful force for good in this world. Go forth and spread your magic, because there is no one more youer than you. And you are here on purpose, with a mighty purpose written upon your soul, and your heart knows this. Thank you for being with me today. I am Rev Wendy Silvers. This has been the Awakened Mother Show. You can connect with me. I'll leave it below on Instagram, Facebook, email, and I'm here for you to help you thrive, to help your family prosper, and so that you can be a source for a transformed world. You matter. Your voice matters. Thank you. Peace and many blessings.